All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we've got a lot to talk about. I couldn't be with you for our live stream yesterday, but today we're going to catch up, cover everything we've missed, and you might want to grab a coffee, grab a snack, wherever you are, because there's a lot to cover. Okay, so the first thing we're talking about is everything that's going on with blockchain space, particularly that's going to impact Ethereum in the short, mid, probably also long term, definitely long term. The Ethereum price, what's going on right now, we just printed a new all-time high as of yesterday. We're hitting a little resistance around this level, but I'm going to talk about, what I think can happen there. We're going to look at some of your questions and a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. Last but not least, nothing I'm saying in this video is designed to be financial advice, and there's lots of scammers down in the comment section below. Just ignore them. Like, why would I ever give you my phone number on YouTube or ask you to give me money? Not going to happen. All right. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Nathan, CodeChap, Automatic Beats, Joe, let's say Lee, Francis, Wendy, Camille. All right, lots of bright, excited faces this morning. I am too. So let's go ahead and talk about the massive wave that's coming for really all of crypto, Web3, particularly Ethereum, in my opinion, okay? And I think this is actually going to have a significant impact on the price of ETH over the long term, and I think we're probably going to see higher price levels on ETH relatively soon. We'll talk about that here in a minute, okay? So let me actually pull this up here. So news broke yesterday that we've been talking about for weeks on this channel. Rumors about this, but it's actually come true. Okay, so Facebook, the corporate giant that owns Facebook, that sounds kind of confusing, but the Facebook that you're probably thinking of when I say Facebook has officially changed its company name to Meta, okay, to reinforce their commitment to the metaverse, all right? So I made a video on the metaverse a while back talking about how Facebook is making a big bet on the metaverse as a long-term play for the future of their company. And they have officially, done this and rebranded. So the Facebook app itself is not changing its name to Meta or anything like that. It's just the parent company that owns Facebook, Oculus, Instagram, Messenger, all these different, Facebook products. That parent company is now changing its name to Meta in commitment to the metaverse itself. Okay, so what is the metaverse? If you're just new around here, or maybe you just need a refresher, I think there's you might just want some clarity. So the metaverse is essentially an embodied internet, a new internet that has new business models that's different from Web 2.0 that we have today. I think at the end of the day, you might even start to lump Web 3.0 and Metaverse kind of into the same category. You might even be able to use them as synonyms. Some people say, hey, no, the Metaverse has got more to do with maybe virtual reality, augmented reality, all that type of stuff. That might be true. But basically, you can think about it this way. Metaverse or Web 3.0, whichever one you want to talk about, is an internet that's going to be made possible by blockchains, internet themselves, because part of what happens with the Metaverse is sort of digital real estate that can be owned and it's not controlled by a central company. Now, there's lots of controversy around Facebook, whether you trust Facebook or not to be a major influential player in the metaverse. That's a different conversation entirely. But I don't think that Facebook internet itself is going to be able to be very successful with metaverse long term if they completely, just like try to create something that does not honor decentralization in any form or fashion. Okay, so we'll talk about that here. Some more thoughts, but anyways, this is huge for crypto, in my opinion. Like I said, there's some people who are going to be really skeptical about this and say, hey, this is actually bearish because, this is like Facebook we're talking about here. I don't think that's the right perspective. And again, we can cover that here more in a minute, but let's talk about what this can mean for crypto long term. So I think it's going to be huge for the crypto space, but I think it's particularly going to be huge for the Ethereum space. With, my view long term is Ethereum being the best bet for a decentralized, robust, credibly neutral public blockchain where you can create smart contracts and actually, be the front runner for the leader of Web 3.0 metaverse long term for a lot of the really important use cases that require decentralization. That's huge, okay? And a lot of people say, hey, Ethereum is too slow, too expensive. Definitely check out that video I did yesterday on ETH 2.0 and Ethereum scaling and how this is all going to get a lot better long term. It's even getting better right now as we use layer 2 scaling solutions. But anyways, let's look at briefly the crypto prices, okay? Because we did see some positive response in the crypto markets after the announcement yesterday, or following the announcement, I should say. Now, I know crypto prices don't always just completely follow what happens in the news. There's multiple factors that influence them. We have been on a increasing bull trend over the past several months anyways. So you could just say this is a continuation of the trend. But we do see that markets responding to the news in some way, in my opinion, because if the news had been really bad, it probably would have had some sort of negative sentiment on the markets. We don't really see that. But anyways, let's talk about the really important thing that happened with the Ethereum price in particular is we hit a new all-time high. Okay, so we hit $4,416 13 hours ago. All right, and we have not smashed past that yet. We are seeing some resistance around this, but I've been talking about this for a couple weeks now on this channel, ever since we kind of kissed that new all-time high. I guess that was just a little over a week ago today, so maybe it's been a couple weeks. I've been saying this, that we could see some resistance here. Okay, we saw this back last year in the Bitcoin price. Okay, if you go look at Bitcoin, it's like CoinGecko's got some there's like a Halloween theme or something. If you look at the Bitcoin price, a year ago, we saw some resistance around the previous all-time high. Now, once we broke the previous all-time high, we confidently smashed through it and went, it just started like a raging bull market. And that's not exactly happening right now as we've broken the previous all-time high. But the actual number is less significant as this just general resistance range, because you can see we got close to it and we kind of stayed there for, more or less 2-3 weeks. All right. So we could see a similar type of thing play out here where we're kind of at that all-time high level, roughly speaking, even though we technically broke it. But we might see some resistance for a little while before we smash through. But I do think that, over the next few months, we will probably see significantly higher prices in assets like Ethereum than we do right now. Okay. That's what I'm personally betting on. It's not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I'm not telling you to buy or sell any cryptocurrency based on this information. That's just my view on the things. So why would I think that? Well, going back to my fundamental sort of thesis on, building technology that has lots of benefits, where you can, more people use that technology, and so far as cryptocurrency is actually integrated into it, then, that value can accrue to the cryptocurrency itself. And we're still seeing continued, exponential adoption and number of users who are actually using the technology and the number of transactions that are taking place, all that type of stuff. And for that reason, nothing has changed. And if you look at this trend, we have seen some pretty big spikes and corrections over the past year or so. But what does this trend look like? It looks like a curve going upward, right? In linear terms, and in log terms, it looks basically like a straight line. Okay, so this is indicative of a trend, and that, in my opinion, that trend is mirroring what's happening with the underlying fundamentals. And the fundamentals don't look like they have slowed down one bit at all in terms of the adoption of the tech. We've seen Facebook come out as a metaverse company it needs blockchain in order to succeed. We've seen, the futures ETFs and Bitcoin. It's like every week we've got something crazy on average. Sometimes we get like 2-3 things in 1 week. We space out over time. What are we, like 40 something weeks into the year? There's been at least like 40 something really significant things happen in crypto this past year if you've been watching these live streams and keep up. So that's why I think we're going to have this massive tsunami come in for all of crypto, and particularly for Ethereum, for the use cases that I'm talking about here that need a smart contract platform to flourish, and ETH being the best bet for that long term. So we're seeing, I know lots of people were kind of up in arms about what's going on with Shiba Inu coin the past several days. We've seen a pretty big spike back up to new all-time highs. Okay. Smashed past a previous all-time high. And we have seen Shiba even mentioned in the Coinbase listing in the App Store. Okay, I put this, actually put this tweet on my Twitter yesterday. You can see it here. I mentioned that Coinbase was the number one app in the App Store again, on top free apps. And you can see they actually listed the ticker for Shiba Inu in the description here. So Bitcoin, Ether, and then Shiba Inu. So I think they're seeing some pretty significant volume on their side of things. So anyways, another thing to call out here with Coinbase being number one in the App Store is this happened last time we had sort of dog coin mania back at the last all-time high for crypto before we saw a massive correction. So this makes, people wonder like, hey, are we at an intermediate top? We could see some correction from here. Some people are saying last time like Doge was pumping like crazy and Shiba was pumping like crazy and Coinbase was number one app in the App Store. That coincided with the, $64,000 Bitcoin top and the, 4,300 whatever, Ether top. So we'll see what happens. But it did flip Doge. It still flips Doge. So full disclosure, I don't own any Shiba. I'm not hating on anybody who owns Shiba. I think people misunderstand that. But one thing I did want to mention about the Shiba is we did see a wallet. Okay. So we did see a Shiba wallet that essentially bought $8,000. Let's just pull it up. $8,000 of Shiba last August, and now it's worth $5.7 billion. It's absolutely crazy. $8,000 to $5.7 billion in roughly 400 days. Maybe looking at the greatest individual investment of all time. So, who knows what happened? This could be an early team member who bought it and is still holding on to it. This could be somebody who bought it and forgot about it. But some people are like, hey, nobody in the right mind is going to hold $8,000 and just like diamond hand it all the way up to $5.7 billion. Here's the other thing. Even if you got that much money, there's not enough liquidity in Shiba across any exchange for you to exit that position. So that's something that people need to understand in crypto. If you buy a micro cap cryptocurrency, which that's exactly what Shiba was whenever this purchase was made, and it goes to like $100 million or something like that, like there's probably not a way you're gonna be able to actually sell those coins. You can always sell them, but you're going to sell them at a fraction of the price of what the market is, and you're going to tank the entire market, and everybody's going to be mad at you. Which, I don't know. If you're selling a lot of money, you might not care. So we're seeing a lot of other stuff happen in this space. Again, this space is so crazy, and so much has happened, especially since I missed the live stream yesterday. We got to compress a lot of stuff all into one kind of big update here. But we did see another pretty major DeFi exploit. Was a $100 million exploit with Cream Finance. Okay, so this is something you definitely want to watch out for if you're a participant in DeFi. Yeah, $100 million exploit. Let's see if I can pull up a post-mortem thread on it. So I'm going to go to the bullet points on this article. We'll try to take these one by one and see if it's accurate. Again, I haven't sat down and done like a thorough analysis on the attack, so we'll just take it face value what this article says. Just full caveat, it may not be 100% accurate. In order for me to personally audit exactly what happened, it would take me a significant amount of time just to do the due diligence on it, but let's just kind of take a look and see what it says. So hacker steals $130 million from Cream Finance, the company's third attack this year. So basically, they exploited a bug in the Flash loan system to steal all Ethereum-based tokens. So the value stolen was estimated $130 million. The incident marks the third time this year Cream Finance got hacked after incidents in February and August. So here's our initial analysis. So they have the procedure, the BlockSec team. This is probably a pretty good analysis. So basically, it looks like it was like an exploit of the Oracle proxy that calculates the USD pool value. That's kind of what I'm just looking at here. Basically, they borrowed DAI from MakerDAO, deposited DAI to get this, and then borrowed a bunch of... So basically, they just took out a lot of Flash loans to exploit a vulnerability in the system that allowed them to walk away with all the capital by exploiting different parts of the system. If you want to go look at the full analysis yourself, I can give you a better explanation if I sat down and really, really thoroughly analyzed it, but let's just... let's just leave it at that. I'll put the link right now in the live chat replay. So boom, there you go. If you click on that link that I just pasted, you'll be able to read through the analysis yourself. Be good exercise if you're a developer and want to understand what happened. So speaking of flash loans, there's another interesting thing that happened with CryptoPunk. I believe it was yesterday. So if you're new and you're not sure what a flash loan is, this is a unique feature of blockchain and DeFi that's really not possible anywhere else, just because of how blockchain works. So basically, a flash loan is how you can borrow like millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. You take out a loan, and you don't have to post any collateral for the loan, so it's zero money down. There's no interest on the loan. There's a tiny fee, but you can basically do it for free. And yeah, it's as long as you pay back the loan in the same transaction. So how does that work? Well, basically, if you think about how blockchain works, a transaction happens anytime you execute an action on a blockchain. So let's say I send cryptocurrency from my wallet to yours. Well, that's one transaction, okay? But blockchain also allows more complex transactions. So let's say I wanted to trade a token on a decentralized exchange. Well, that is a complex transaction because it interacts with a smart contract, and you're calling a function on that smart contract. And what's that function doing under the hood? It's saying, okay, take tokens out of my account. All right, I'm exchanging it, and then, put those tokens somewhere, and then take new tokens that I'm buying and then giving them back to me. So in very simple terms, that's a two-step action. That's a complex transaction. And that is powered by a smart contract that has a function that orchestrates all those actions together. So these actions can have multiple steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down to 100. As long as you can fit enough gas inside the block to make the function happen, you can write as complex of a function as you want to, okay? So basically, with flash loans, what you can do is a developer, you can write smart contracts that allow you to do this. I said you could borrow millions of dollars of cryptocurrency with zero money down as long as you pay it back in the same transaction. Well, that's how you do it. Basically, you code a function inside of a smart contract that performs all these steps that get executed sequentially, instantaneously on the blockchain. You're the only one who has access to the entire blockchain for that little split second in time. And so what it does is you can do things like borrow $1 million, step 1. Step 2, buy a cryptocurrency on one exchange. Step 3, sell on a different exchange for profit. Step 4, return the funds back to the flash loan provider. Step 5, profit the difference, okay? And you take that. So there's lots of different things you can do with flash loans. The example that I just described was an arbitrage transaction where you buy cryptocurrency on one exchange and sell on another. The reason that's so significant is, like I said, you're the only person who has access to the blockchain at that one specific instance in time, and you can't lose the money that you're borrowing, and you can't. The cryptocurrency prices can't change on the exchanges when you're doing that, because that's the problem with arbitrage and centralized exchanges. If you bought and then moved the funds on another exchange, like the prices might move on you. So, anyways, where it's going with that with flash loans, there's lots of different things you can do with flash loans. The DeFi exploit that we saw a minute ago was powered by flash loans. So some people don't like flash loans for that reason, because, these massive sums of money are often used to exploit protocols. But one thing that we saw yesterday that was pretty interesting was someone basically bought a CryptoPunk from themselves and spiked the CryptoPunk price data. Okay. So basically, Punk 9998 was bought for $532 million, so $500 million, from somebody, basically from themselves. So how it works was, basically Punk was put up for sale by a smart contract, smart contract A, and then smart contract number 2 took out a massive flash loan to buy this CryptoPunk for a way higher price than necessary. And then, they just took out all this money from all these different places, and then basically paid it to themselves, and then basically they paid back the flash loan in the same transaction, and then that was it. So they didn't really net any money here, but what they did do was spike the price of CryptoPunk price data. Now, I haven't been following the prices. I don't know if that made other CryptoPunks actually rise in value, but this is kind of an interesting little experiment that took place on the chain itself. You can actually see the payment that took place. Okay, so yeah, we'll see if this type of thing happens. I don't know if it's possible to manipulate the NFT market by using flash loans or something like that. But I don't know if this person was attempting that or if they were literally just like bored and wanted to do it. It's very, very possible. So if it does manipulate the markets in any way, then that's going to be an interesting factor to see what happens going forward with other NFT projects. I mean, the art market has been notoriously manipulated. I mean, the NFT market's kind of manipulated in some ways already, but this could be a new vector that could make that pretty interesting. Somebody says ETH 5,000 soon. Very much in the realm of possibility. Okay, like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't really try to time short-term, movements with the market. I don't pretend to know what those short-term movements are going to be. I do try to look at the big picture, and everything that I've laid out, in this video, would support that we would see a $5,000 ETH relatively soon on the grand scheme of things. That's where the trend is headed, okay? And if you analyze it in terms of trends and probability and fundamentals, I think it's highly likely, okay? You have to think about this in terms of likelihood. So basically, like, going back to this trend, you see this massive trend that's forming a curve upward. I don't think this is just hype. I really don't think this is just like pure speculation on cryptocurrency prices. I think it is a reflection of the activity that's happening on the blockchain in and of itself and the value that the asset gives. Okay, we see so much ETH being locked up in DeFi, locked up in staking, all the transaction activity, everything, right? I really think this is a fundamentals-driven thing. And these periods where ETH kind of like broke down, you could say those are periods of ETH being undervalued relative to trend, okay? And there are some who would even argue that ETH is still undervalued relative to trend, all right? So if we just take the trend for what it is, we might see another like dip right here. Like we keep seeing these notches every now and then. We might see another notch, but on the grand scheme of things, I do think that since this person was asking about a $5,000 Ether, I think we would see it relatively soon. I still try to think of big long-term timelines. I'll give you a little hint here with secret of crypto. If you can just be even a little bit patient in crypto, you can win massively relative to other people in crypto. Some people are in crypto looking for a really quick buck, in a week, 2 weeks, a couple months. But like, even if you just view things in a really short time horizon compared to the rest of the world, which would be like 1 to 2 years, like you can see absolutely insane results. For most people, are investing 1 to 2 years in the S&P 500 or real estate markets, whatever it is, buying tech stocks. They're not seeing the kind of gains in 1 to 2 years that people are seeing in crypto. It's taking them a decade or two to see the same types of gains. Let's say, do we have a new all-time high? Somebody's saying that. No, we're not quite the all-time high yet per the CoinGecko listing. Let's keep watching it. Let's see if we can hit another ETH all-time high on the stream. We'll kind of make it a watch party here. Maybe we'll go a little bit longer today. Let's pull up TradingView. Hold on. We'll be super official here. Oh, we're getting close. Let's see. What does CoinGecko list as the official all-time high? The official all-time high is let's just pull up my screen here. 4,416. Yep, we're there. We got a new one on Coinbase at least. Somebody says whiskey time is Friday. It's too early. Maybe later. Maybe in like 10 hours. All right, let's see if we can watch the, let's watch like the minute chart here. I don't think there's anything more anxiety inducing in crypto than watching a 1 minute chart. All right, so we'll let ETH kind of do its thing here for a minute. We'll kind of check back in maybe towards the end of the stream. Let's see if we got any other questions in the chat. Somebody says, not for me. It's late afternoon here. Bring in the whiskey. You can have one for me, buddy. Somebody says, I don't feel like working when we're in the bull run. It's easy to get distracted for sure. All right, looks like ETH is doing his thing again. Watching that candle go up. We're officially in price discovery mode for Ether. So somebody asked me, what did that mean? What is price discovery? Well, Ethereum's discovering what price it wants to be at. So we're discovering new price levels. You can think about it that way. We have no price history above 4,000 at this point, $4,430. So now whenever ETH makes a new price above $4,430, it's technically discovering a new price. So, speaking of the metaverse with Facebook, we can kind of take a look at that here for a second again. I saw a pretty good tweet thread yesterday from Raoul Pal about the announcement. So, if y'all don't know Raoul, I've talked about him a lot on my channel. He's had a lot of really great insights into crypto, calling trends, and not in prices, but also fundamental adoption pretty early. Okay, he's got a ton of experience, as a macro investor. Okay, he's founded multiple companies. Very successful investor. Okay, so he's actually been watching crypto for a lot longer than most people who are in the space now, and the accuracy of his calls have been really great. So that's one reason I really liked his take on things. Okay. Especially because a lot of people in crypto now have only entered the space or only been thinking about anything financial or tech related in the past 4 years or so. And he's kind of different because he's got a pretty extensive background. He's got a lot of years on most people in crypto, and just in terms of life experience, but also experience that are highly relevant to what's going on in the space. So, anyways, let's look at what he was talking about. So the Zuck video for today, he's talking about the Mark Zuckerberg announcement from Facebook changing its name to Meta, the parent company that is not the app itself. Might well have been cheesy, but it was incredibly important. Maybe one of the most important things I've seen in years. So although something I have expected and written about for a long time, Raoul's been talking a lot about the metaverse. So basically, Facebook, now Meta, is the largest amalgamation of communities on Earth, and it is moving into the metaverse. People get confused. The metaverse is not one place or experience. It is our digital fluidity, the blend of our physical and digital worlds, diverse and unique to us. So Meta get that this is not one Ready Player One experience, but an interoperable world. You or I might not trust Meta, but in this new world, we can just take our stuff and go to a digital society that treats us the way we wish, much like the internet now, but we retain the value. That's really important point here. Because right now in Web 2.0, Basically, if you give somebody all your data, you're just locked into that ecosystem and that provider. But there's this self-sovereignty in Web 3.0 and Metaverse where you have a lot more power for the individual to just take and then migrate. So there might be an oligopoly on the largest metaverse experiences, but like there is in gaming and social media, but we're free to move. Some of these societies will extract too much rent in terms of data or restrictions, but we can move elsewhere. Okay. Some of Apple building astonishing AR, all that type of stuff. You may not trust Apple, but that's okay. Again, digital sovereign. This is like digital sovereign states, but without restrictions of physical states, at least not yet. Too many people are building out other experiences that will form a part of the metaverse that may be less monopolist or corporatist. You choose what suits you. Talking about lots of other things, how DAOs create opportunities, all that type of stuff. NFTs. I'll just put the tweet thread down in the chat so you can read it. I won't read every single thing here. But basically, be less cynical and realize that today the world shifted on its axis. Okay, so if you're skeptical about Web 3.0, skeptical about the metaverse, it's okay. I mean, I'll just even tell you from my own experience. I mean, my crypto journey, it wasn't like I just saw crypto for the first time when I did back in, I guess it was 2017. When I was there, I didn't just like jump in and accept every single paradigm about crypto. I mean, there's a lot of things in crypto now that I don't agree with. I think something that's full of crap. That's not true about crypto and where it's headed in the future. But when I saw the technology in itself, like I knew it was game changing. I just didn't know exactly how that would play out in every single instance and what would work and what wouldn't work. I didn't know if cryptocurrency in and of itself would work. I didn't know if dApps in and of themselves would work, okay? But over time, gaining more and more experience and actually understanding the space way more, you start to connect those dots and see what's possible. And that's one of the things I want to help you all do on this channel is actually gain that knowledge for yourself, because once you have that knowledge for yourself, people who don't have your best interest in mind can't pull the wool over your eyes. You can make better decisions. You can have power to change your career, to gain the technical skills for yourself, work at the kinds of companies that you think have the best vision for this space long term, build your own projects that are going to satisfy a need, whatever it is. You start with that foundation, you can go any direction you want to. So anyways, I bring that up because I'm saying like it's okay to be skeptical initially and to be slow to come to these ideas. But here's one thing you have to understand if you have any skepticism is don't be cynical, okay? So be less cynical and realize that today the world shifted on its axis. The metaverse is an entire new layer of GDP, gross domestic product, and has endless possibilities which ever metaverse experiences you choose. There is no one metaverse, like there is no one community or society or country. This is something that is truly exponential. If the future of everything, or it is the future of everything, but you can choose your future and your society that most aligns with you. This is a game changer. Don't use your cynicism about Facebook. See the change. All right, looks like ETH might have seen a short-term peak here. I don't necessarily think it's the daily high or anything. I think just over the next, several minutes, ETH. I don't know if ETH's going to shoot back up just yet. But we did catch a new all-time high on the stream. That's our first. Actually, I think we did see one new all-time high early this year, maybe like in March. I think we maybe caught one on stream one time. Doesn't happen often. Somebody says, see the change, be the change. Well, you can be the change. You can be the change by participating. You can even way more be the change by building this technology. I mean, it's insane how in demand these skills are. You got more and more people who want, blockchain developers to help realize this vision, more, opportunities to build your own product in the space. And that's ultimately what I want to help people do on this channel, right? Is acquire those skills that can accomplish whatever goal they want to and actually be a part of that change, be a part of that revolution. So if that's you, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find those free courses there. Really, they're like, a course that you can buy on Udemy, but it's totally free. Just right there on YouTube. Learn by doing. All right, just follow those step by step from start to finish. And, once you're done with that, if you want to take the next step or you want to just take a massive shortcut entirely, get the massive comprehensive guide from step by step, start to finish, and how to become a blockchain developer so you can accomplish any one of those goals, you can do that over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers in matter of months. Okay. So don't forget to smash that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people learn about blockchain. That's all I got for today. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.